Namaste, Jai Bharat. There are news, not really authentic, not official confirmation, but there are news that the former cricketer, former Prime Minister of Pakistan, Imran Khan, was beaten up to death in a Pakistani jail by no one knows, but anyone's guess. Was beaten up to death in a Pakistani jail, and his so-called shattered body was very secretly taken out and took somewhere else. His sisters, this is what I hear the news, I don't know the names, his sisters used to visit him, the news says daily, in the prison. But then suddenly, a few days before, a couple of days before, 1 or 2 days before, it seems that they went to visit him in the jail and they were denied. And it's basically aggressive society. Was denied permission. They must have stood there and insisted on meeting their brother, but then they were caught, one of the sisters, or both, I don't know. They were caught by the hair and pulled by their hair and dragged them through the streets, and then what happened, I don't know. So the point is that a former Prime Minister was beaten up to death in a jail, as the news says. This is not the first time that happens in Pakistan. Very dynamic leader, Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, whose father was the Prime Minister of Junagadh in Bharat that time. Junagadh was a Muslim Nawab rule. Bhutto was imprisoned and then later was hanged to death. And this is the usual thing in Pakistan. So there's nothing that stops us from calling Pakistani society as barbaric. Their action is barbaric, their attitude is barbaric. What they keep doing is barbaric. And the recent Pakistan's action against Afghanistan is also barbaric. They go in their flying machines and bomb common people, maybe children, maybe women, maybe other citizens, common citizens, farmers. They have been bombing and killing. That's another news. So all told, we should see that the society of Pakistan is not less than any barbaric society. This, of course, is nothing unusual when you talk on a global perspective. The people say that there are many such barbaric societies in the world. There are barbaric societies, but there are also civilized barbarians among the so-called civilized society, especially in the West. The photographer story is very popular, who clicked the photograph of a watcher waiting for the child to die and then just left the situation as it is and went back, and then someone says that later he was committed suicide, something, he must have felt guilt, etc. Well, the feeling guilt is definitely not barbaric. I just it came to my mind, so I just said that among the civilized people there are also civilized barbarians who will have no pinch of consciousness when they do such activities. But there is a speciality with Pakistan, and that speciality is that there was a time when their ancestors were not barbarians. There was a time when the people's, today's Pakistani people's ancestors were not barbarians. They were civilized people. Rather, they were autochthones of civilization once upon a time. And in Bharat, those who inherit such Sanskriti, civilizational Sanskriti based civilization, are active today, and the civilization continues. The Bharatiya Sanskriti is thriving vibrant, and alive, kicking and alive, and is promising to go forward. That being the case of people of Bharat, and the people of Pakistan today are not really different from the people of Bharat. They have only they departed from Bharat, got themselves separated just 70 odd years ago. Within this time, they have very successfully turned into barbarians, indisciplined, and absolutely lazy people who wouldn't like to work for anything, want to get everything free, and who would constantly and continuously look for shortcuts in life. Don't want to go the hard way, just want it not in the smart way. Smart way is a different concept. Getting shortcuts no matter how, whichever means. So that is what happened to Pakistani society. Now it's really appalling. It's really appalling to see that a statesman who must have, whatever maybe is been merits or demerits, a statesman was physically handled and just physically beaten to death. That's what the report. Physically beaten to death. Getting them imprisoned itself is not less than any kind of barbarism. Somebody goes, then that fellow takes revenge on the person who sat there. Revenge is a negative thought. I cannot tell them about Dominishadik Tektira Bunjira kind of concept. They are just far from such understandings. They belong to a different barbaric way of tradition. Nothing new, nothing unusual. But in this case, these people have defied their ancestors to that extent that's getting evidenced. Their ancestry was entirely different. And now what they are promoting, what they are making of themselves is entirely different from what they used to be few generations before. Now, it's for them to look into the causes, look into the reasons, look into the implications of how they get so deteriorated. I find that they're going back in time. They go back and deteriorate. In Pakistan's case, they are going back tens thousands of years, because their ancestors, the Hindus, were much civilized those times than far beyond what they are today. They are supposed to go forward in time, but these people have gone backward in time, backwards, through backwalking, not forward walking. That is a situation. Now, anybody who in the world who wants to interact with Pakistan should bear these kind of things in mind, that who are you talking to? You are talking to people who cannot be transparent. I'm using the word cannot be, because they are incapable of being transparent, incapable of being honest, or incapable of possessing any qualities which others generally consider as noble. We shall meet again. Namaste. Jai Bharat, Jai Sri Ram.